Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and if you couldn't tell from the title of the video, um, I bought a car from Copart. So let me give you guys a little context or a little backstory on this whole deal. So me and my buddy Isaiah, which most of you guys, if you guys have been watching the channel, know him pretty well. He drives the red Miata, and we've been talking about doing a drift rental in our local area, to, kind of make a little bit of money. And, um, you know, we're always kind of looking for ways to make money off of drifting, which we pretty much never have, but we're always trying to find something. Why wouldn't you want to do something that you love to do and then even try to make a little bit of money off of it? So we decided we wanted to buy a rental drift car or build a rental drift car. So, we're throwing around ideas of what chassis to use, E36s, Z33s, the G35s or the 350Zs, which are good chassis out of the box. So we kind of settled on doing a G35 or 350Z. I started looking on Facebook Marketplace, really couldn't find anything in the price range that we're kind of looking at in our local area or within like 500 miles, if not more. So I figured, hey, let's try Copar's out. I've heard good things about it. I know a lot of people use Copar's, from what I've heard, at least, you know what I mean? So I started looking into Copar's as an option, and started to follow some of the steps in order to start bidding on cars and stuff like that. And if any of you guys are from Nevada or California, in order to bid on cars in Nevada or California, you have to use a broker or have your own dealer's license or some sort of license. I'm not 100% sure on that, on which license you actually need. But there's a list of brokers that you can use from Copar's website. So I kind of went that route. I wanted to buy something nearby that I wouldn't have to pay a lot for shipping, or even something that I could actually just go pick up locally. Because I do have a Copar's 5 minutes from here. But anyways, so I started to look around on Copar's. I found a couple cars nearby that I'd like to try to bid on. Granted, I have never bid on any cars really. So I ended up bidding on this car. It was a 03 G35 with a 6-speed in it already. Good platform to start with. So the bidding starts out pretty low. I think it was like right around $500 or $700. We make it all the way to like 1,000 pretty quick. And then I bid on it and ended up getting the car for $1,050, which, wow, man, that sounds like a really good deal. And that's kind of what this video is about, is kind of going over all the other costs that are associated with buying from Copar's. I knew about some of them, but I didn't know about all of them, and using a broker and all this other stuff. So I kind of wanted to share my experience with you guys on purchasing it, kind of go over some of the fees associated with it, because definitely $1,000 or $1,050 isn't the end price. There's a lot more that goes into it, and we'll go over that real quick. So, all right, guys. So I'm gonna go over the invoice from the auction. This is basically the price breakdown of everything and all the fees that are associated with it. So obviously we used Auto Bidmaster, blah, 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 blah. Here's a bunch of the vehicle information. So you can see right here, the auction final bid was $1,050. Sounds real awesome until you see the rest of the fees associated with it. So here's the Copart auction fee, which I did know about this fee. I didn't realize it was going to be $513. And this is not a percentage. I mean, there might be some percent. I don't know how to calculate this. I think there's like a starting point of like $300, and then it goes up from there. But there's not a percentage as far as like, okay, well, this 1,050. If this was 20 or $2,000, this wouldn't make it $1,000. It'd probably be $700 or $800. Here's the transaction fee. This is the fee that Auto Bidmaster charges you to use their services. Documentation fee, which is your title, paperwork, everything that goes along with it. Not a big deal there either. And then discounted advanced membership. I don't get how it's discounted and why I needed this, but so Auto Bidmaster has a membership fee. I think most of these brokers do charge a membership fee. And so their membership fees, or well, the way their membership works is there's 3 or 4 levels. There's 4 levels. There's a guest, a basic, an advanced, and like a premium. And so the guest one is 100% free. I don't know if it amounts to shit once you actually use their services. Then you have the basic, which is $50 for the year. Which I don't really understand what that one does. I ended up actually purchasing the $50 one, basic, and then once I purchased this vehicle, they automatically made me bump up to the advanced membership, which I'm kind of irritated about because not only did I have to spend an extra $200, but I've already paid a $50 fee on top of this. So this is actually $250. And it's kind of irritating. I wish they just had maybe 1 or 2 memberships, or I don't know, better explained that once you actually use their auction service that you actually need a membership fee. And maybe they do, maybe in the fine print somewhere, I don't know. And then ground shipping to ship the vehicle from Redding, California to Reno, Nevada is going to be $612, which isn't in. This is you have to do this, and there, because it states that you are unable to actually physically pick up from a auto or Copar's facility. You have to use one of their shipping services. Now, the cool part that Auto Bidmaster does is they allow you to do your shipping, all incorporated. They source the shipping, they do everything for you. You just have to pay for it. So I guess it's easy in that respect and convenient. The other thing that Auto Bidmaster does that might be okay or cool is they do financing. So that's kind of convenient, I guess. So you don't have to, if you buy something that's, significantly more, you'd be able to finance it. So all in all, the net due ended up being $27.72. That's almost double, well, not double, almost triple what I paid. Is it triple? I don't know. But 2/3 more than what I paid for the car, which is crazy. $1,700 more. I knew there were some fees associated with it. I just didn't know how much was going to be associated with it, which was a little frustrating. And that's kind of why I'm making this video, is because I wanted you guys to experience this yourselves and see all the fees behind it as well. Like, oh, you think, oh, $1,000, or I'm going to get a really good deal through Copar's. I don't know if it's a good deal. So let's kind of go over the car real quick. All right, guys. So here's the car I ended up buying. So first thing is there was some sort of impact right here on the passenger side front fender. The wheel itself looks cambered in, so I'm leaning that the upper control arm on this car, granted I'm not familiar with it, but I assume that the upper control arm or strut itself is damaged on here, allowing this to be cambered the way it is. This front fender obviously is damaged. We got some windshield damage. The hood looks like there's a big gap here, but I think it's not closed all the way from them taking pictures. Hopefully. Moving on to the other side. The bumper's hanging down. Same gap hood, which leads me to believe that this is not latched all the way. Looks like there's a small dent or wrinkle right there. I don't know what that is. All right, moving to the back of the car, we see a lot of scrapes. There's some dirt in the exhaust, leading me to believe that this car went backwards at some point and got some dirt in it. This quarter panel looks like it's damaged. I didn't realize the extent of this until later. It looks like somebody did some sanding on it, like they were going to repair it at some point. I don't know. Real weird. Moving to the other quarter panel, looks okay. The door looks like it might be pushed in a little bit. I don't know. Or not the door, but the quarter panel just behind it. I hope not. Again, more damage to the rear bumper. I think I can buff that out. Shouldn't be a problem. Moving to the inside, you can see that it is a 6-speed, which is pretty dope. And seats are cracked, both driver and passenger. Back seat, no one cares. Engine, there's some cold air intake right here, probably eBay special. Cover for the engine, not really a big deal. It's kind of unbolted, whatever. This whole core support looks okay. Seems undamaged. If we zoom in over here, doesn't look like the tower has received any damage from the impact that I can see from this photo. Obviously, there's a missing battery. Ooh, some really good electrical work right there. Some electrical tape, I guess. So there's no battery in it. So 150,000 miles. And here is a shot of the passenger side fender and wheel where the damage occurred. You can see it looks like it's got slotted in drilled rotors, maybe a spacer on it. And then I think it's like an OEM brake setup, but I think it's like the good ones, Brembos or whatever, came on these cars, so that's good. I'm hoping that this car might actually have like coilovers on it or something like that, or maybe some more performance oriented stuff. If they've done a couple things to the car, so I'm hoping there's some other stuff done to it. But other than that, yeah, this is kind of the overview of the car. There's a bunch of information right here about the car, undercarriage, the damage, and so on and so forth. All right, guys. So I kind of wanted your guys' input on this. Did I get ripped off? Based on what we can see here, obviously we won't know everything until the car gets here and we can actually look it over and see if it is actually a good runner. Everything works somewhat properly. We know that we do have to replace a few items and stuff like that. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think. I think considering we paid $1,000 for the actual car and then another $1,700 on top of it, I think I definitely have learned a lesson that Copars may not be as cheap as I thought it was going to be. There's a lot of fees. I think at times that Copars is misrepresented as being very affordable. Maybe once you get into those higher echelon cars, the margin of profit is much higher and makes it actually worth it. when you're talking about a car that, like this one, that's $2,700, and you still have to put, you know, considerable amount of money into it, and it is salvage. So your top dollar that you can pay for this car is going to be much, much less. Even though they're estimating that the value of this car is $7,100, I don't see you getting that much for a salvage title vehicle, especially of this age. So I don't know. Take it for what you will. Make your own decisions whether or not, or your own assumptions of if this is worth it or not. I'm kind of leaning towards, if something like this, probably not worth it. $2,700 seems like a lot for this car, in my opinion. Let me know below if you beg to differ. So that kind of leads me into the next thing. I don't know if we're going to use this car for a rental, or I am just going to try to fix it and recoup as much money as I possibly can and move forward with something else later on, or what. I don't know. So I kind of took full responsibility for this car. I talked to Isaiah and I was like, hey man, I kind of misrepresented what Copart's was going to be because I didn't know. I thought it was going to be significantly cheaper, because we needed to be at about $2,000 on a car, plus, you know, adding on all the parts that we need to make it a driftable car and all that in order to start actually making a profit. So I don't think this is going to be the car. So I told him, I said, hey man, I kind of rushed into this, you know, I jumped in with both feet, bought this car. I said, I'll cover the cost of the vehicle, and what I'm going to probably end up doing, you know, I don't know yet, until the car gets here, but I'm probably going to try to just fix what's wrong with it, flip it, and then try to sell it for what I put into the car, or maybe a little bit more, and hopefully break even, if I'm lucky. So that's kind of the plan for now. That might change once the car gets here, but I just wanted to share my Copart's first experience with you guys. So maybe if any of you guys are thinking about doing it, you kind of know a little bit more than I did when I started. If you guys are interested, I can do a more in-depth video on what I know as far as the steps that you have to go through in order to bid on a car, win a car, and then get the car back to your house, because there's a lot of steps to it, and it was definitely a learning experience for me. You know, sometimes you have to pay for education. I paid for it, and now let me educate you guys on how to do it. From what I've seen, there's not very much information on YouTube or the internet on how this process actually works, between the wire transfers, setting up shipping, setting up an account through Auto Bidmasters, and the account information and all that stuff that you need to do to make sure that you guys can actually do this and actually have the information. So let me know below if you guys want me to make that video, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you guys for subscribing. Please like the video, and I will see you guys next time.